lifestyle essentials. It's been a while since I did a video, and I'm super happy to be back. This week, I want to talk about an event that didn't work out and the things that happened behind that not working out. The event is the orgasmic meditation, and I was so happy to make this one. It was with a new collaborator. He was also initiated in Tantra, and I had met him last year, and I was super ecstatic that we were going to begin working together. This didn't happen, and the reason it didn't happen is because we were doing rehearsals. So we were preparing for the orgasmic meditation, and we were taking turns in giving touch to the other person to see what it's like to give and to receive from one another. As this is what we were going to do also in the event, we were going to have demonstrations before any of the participants were gonna do the meditation themselves. As we were giving and receiving to one another, I did what I always do. So when I'm with somebody new and when I'm not necessarily so attracted to that person or in love with that person, I'm not exactly 100% open. I'm not. So I have a lot of boundaries, and just like any other woman, if it's not my lover, then I'm not exactly the most comfortable person to work with, as in, well, I have things that I like, things that I don't like, and it's much more difficult for me to relax in that stage, but I can relax nonetheless. So I was showing this, I was showing my boundaries, I was saying what I liked, what I didn't like, I was communicating and asking how I wanted to receive touch and what I needed and so on. And my collaborator found this not helpful for him to focus. So he was more intuitive. He wanted to just direct the touch as he sensed. And I'm sure his intuition is perfect. It's just that I told him, look, until I get used to this, to working with somebody new, this is going to come up. So I have boundaries, I have preferences, I have things that work for me and things that don't. And it's normal. I mean, I'm just, like every other woman. So when he told me after we finished one of the rehearsals, he said that he had a hard time focusing. So I asked him if he could work with me being like this. So being, normal, not super high, not super attracted, not in love, with my boundaries and my preferences, proactively being communicated. He said that he would think about it, and then the next day he replied and said that no, he did not feel comfortable working like that. And I totally understood that. I totally respected that. I went through my own, sadness of not seeing an event happen, and my own doubts, like, am I normal? Is there something wrong with me? I got over that. And the beautiful thing is that within a few days, I met a woman who's doing almost the same kind of work that I'm doing. So she's also promoting herself as a sex coach. She does not have the same kind of training that I did. And her approach is much more poetic, let's say. I'm much more technical. I'm much more practice-oriented within my training. So it's a different approach. And when I shared with her my joy and my enthusiasm to have met her, and when I expressed my wish to work with her in the future, because I'm all for collaborations, and I don't want to do projects on my own. I want to have people that I work with, so people that I build atmospheres with, practices with, people that we will, more and more people, so that we can build bigger and bigger events. And when I told her that, although I'm so happy and enthusiastic, I want to tone myself down because this is what happened to me recently, and I told her what I just told you now. And as she listened, she had two reactions, and I think those are super worth sharing here. And I knew what she meant because I had lived that, but she said it in much more beautiful words. So here they are. First of all, I think that would have been a beautiful thing to see. So a woman who's not all open, not all in love and hot for the other person, but is still owning this and is still opening up to this other person and receiving touch and communicating what she likes, what she doesn't like, where she's not comfortable, asking for things that make her comfortable. So this is very real and this is very genuine, and most women are like this. At least in the beginning stages when they meet somebody new, they are like this. But not so many women have the courage to ask for this. So this would have been a beautiful thing to see for others and very realistic. And the second thing that she said, also, I'm very glad that you had this experience, because as you were telling your own thing and you also asked this man, could he work with you like this? And then receiving this no, in essence, because this is what it was a no. It's going to make you be more resilient when you're going to find other people and work with them, because no collaboration is 100% perfect. I mean, even us facilitators, and this is for me, we're human beings, and we have our own growth process that we go through, and we're not always in harmony with all our collaborators and so on. I mean, this is, something that we can all imagine. Well, here's one way where you have seen this when you took your growth experience out of it, and the next time you face this, you will be much more open and willing to stay there when things get tough. Because you know what? Things don't get tough just in your sex relationships and in your intimate relationships. Sometimes things get tough in collaborations. And being able to be there and hold your space and still work with that person and work through those things, that's a quality. That's a big quality. And so she saw this as well. I knew it also. And I hope to have a chance, now we're on a sort of a local holiday here, but I hope to have a chance to also meet him face to face and express this thing. His intention is super, super valuable. He wants to help women. And he currently does this in Romania. He's Romanian, through intimate massages. And I think has a lot of things coming up for him, because a lot of women need help. And we're, all of us, even me or other women who work in coaching, in femininity, in sexuality, in whatever, we are not a complete work of human being. We still have things to work on. And this is super realistic. And this man, like a lot of other men, will have the honor or the gift to have a woman in his work life that he will be able to help and to support. And this does count. It does count as help, and as helping women, supporting them, supporting the feminine, supporting sexuality within us. So it makes sense. And this is what I also wanted to share with you. So I'm not disempowered here. I am very trusting that I will have a collaborator, whether from the tantric field or from whatever other field. I will have a male collaborator, and I will build beautiful projects with him, and we will be able to hold space for one another, even through the tough times, even through lack of harmony sometimes. That does happen. It does come up, and it's human, and it's also beautiful, and it's genuine. Until then, I have my events with Kitty. So she's still working with me, and we're building 3 events, and I hope to get them all up soon. And I hope you're going to like them. And I have a recent proposal from a yoga community that is building here. So it'll be a series of events. And I'm also very excited that in Romania, there is this new training coming out, and it's called Somatic Experiencing. And I heard about it when I was in Germany for my intensive. And our trainers told us, if you want to learn to work with trauma, sexual trauma in our case, you may consider taking a different training, because in this training, we don't work with trauma. We are trauma aware. We understand that the body can regulate itself in sense of states, feelings, sensations. But in terms of trauma, the process is a little different. And one training that can help is actually somatic experiencing. And I'll put a link under this video, so in the newsletter, to the training that is coming to Bucharest as well. It's a 3-year training. I can't wait for this community to develop, because it's complementary to what I do, and it makes a lot of sense to collaborate with these people. And I want to encourage you to take this training, or to consider it at least, for your own development or even for your work. So this week I had from my perspective, a failure, but one that I really learned from. And I hope that you will find this useful. And I hope that this will inspire you, whether in your personal or, professional life, to stick there when things get a little tough and to work through those, to break through those, because this is how growth happens. And or to, part ways if you feel that that challenge is, too big or too much or not relevant for you, if it's not aligned with your mission also, or your intention, your purpose. Take these things as opportunities, just like I did. And I hope to meet you in future newsletters with more not only empowering, but also happening, like concrete manifesting events, that you can come to and that you can grow from. And in the meantime, I hope that you also learn a little bit from what I'm sharing here, because I think it's worthwhile. So have a beautiful, intense, and delicious and orgasmic, intimate life. And I hope to see you in the next newsletter with more beautiful news.